Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to say, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone GMS who do rule and teach well on NBCnews.com. This is a little old, but, I don't care. I'm going to bring it up anyway. Father of 18-year-old fatally shot by a high-up police charged with hitting and killing a deputy with car. Right, so Ryan Hinton was killed by an officer who was responding to a report of a stolen vehicle on Thursday morning, officer said. The father of an 18-year-old who was fatally shot by police during an alleged stolen vehicle incident in Cincinnati on Thursday has been charged with hitting a deputy with his car and killing him, with the police chief saying the two encounters are connected. Rodney L. Hinton is accused of intentionally hitting a Hamilton County Sheriff's deputy Larry Henderson Friday afternoon at Martin Luther King Drive and Burnett Woods Drive near the University of Cincinnati. According to court documents, right, Henderson was taken to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center where he died as a result of his injuries. The recently retired deputy was working as a special deputy and directing traffic in the university during graduation events and so on and so forth. And say, oh, he was so nice and blah, 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 blah. Right, so pretty much officers on scene appeared. It's not the same guy. It's two different officers appeared on scene. Right, and the guy's son, Rodney's son Ryan, was running. And the officer saw a gun, and he shot him, right? He wasn't pointing the gun at him, he just saw it while he was running away, and so he shot him, right? And in retaliation, the guy took his car and drove it into the deputy. So, shit, we in these times, man. we in those times, perilous times shall come. Guys are coming out attacking, police officers, right? This is the book of Isaiah 19:16. In that day shall Egypt be like unto a woman, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the Lord of hosts, which he shaketh over it, right? And that's in these times now, man. These people, things are getting harder, right? People are complaining and so on and so forth. But when Jacob Cho really come down, these people are going to be, like it says in Jeremiah 30, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins? Because they're going to be in so much pain. They're going to be hunched over and it's going to be like, why is every man look like a woman giving birth, right? Because of the famine, because of the destruction, the death, the mayhem, the carnage. America's gonna be a straight up war zone, right? Like you see in everybody talk about The Road. I'm thinking like The Last of Us. If you ever see The Last of Us, there's like a big emphasis on people fighting each other too. So things like that. There was another movie I saw that was really good. I can't remember it, but I know brothers, they put it on their channels and like recommended it. But it was about like a missile dropped down in New York. And you had these bunch of people get into these bunkers, and they pretty much in the bunkers surviving while everything outside is nuked. I can't remember the name of the movie, but if you look up pretty much what I just said, you should be able to find it. Let me get my charger so I don't die. My phone don't die. Are you charging? Let's see. Okay. Right? And the shaking is the prophets, right? The brothers out there, right? GMS brothers, because we have 100% of the truth, right? The Lord is dealing with our elders, right? We have faith in that, through spirit, right? as well as you true affiliate brothers, who are out there pushing this truth, right? We're all out there shaking the hand, which means to rebuke, like when you shake your hand when you're telling someone, that's what we're doing when we come out there, when we make these videos. We're rebuking this place. We're not saying, America's so great and amazing, blah, 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 right? That man's son was on some YN behavior and he got killed for it, right? And then he went out and killed someone else and killed the deputy. Right? It's just a sign of the times, man. I'm not defending that behavior. We never said go fight against the government. We just said that it's prophesied that things like that are going to happen, right? Moving on to 17th verse. And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt, right? And also we push that, hey, the Lord's going to make that recompense. So we don't need to go get guns, right? In due time, the Lord will give us our power, and he'll let us move on when it's ready. I'll say it like that, right? Things are going to play out as they're going to play out, as it's in the scriptures. That rod of iron, right? Bind the nobles of fetters of iron, right? And the land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Everyone that maketh mention thereof shall be afraid of himself, because they counsel the Lord of hosts which ye have determined against it. Right? The land of Judah shall be a terror unto Egypt. Right? We know that Judah is a people before it's a place. Right? The land is a people before it's a place. And that's in Maccabees. I'm not going to go look for it. But, when you read into the whole thing about Isaiah 19, it's a future prophecy. Right? Talking about not, ancient Egypt, but a future Egypt. Because you got to look ahead. Right? When the Most High appear upon Egypt with clouds, right, and things like that, or things like that, right? It should be for a sign of witness, and that day, and then it goes into certain things about us. They call, we're pretty much the Egyptians in this one. When you go down further in, the Lord put each of the cruel prince, these presidents and things like that. Everyone that maketh mention thereof, right? So land of Judah should be a terror unto Egypt, which is, things that haven't happened yet, these race riots. These riots, they gonna come back, man. And you have things like this popping off, right? Judah ain't caring right now, man. See here, terror to Egypt, right? They'll get violent, right? So we can get this one. I have it here. Yeah, this is the book of Jeremiah, Genesis 49:8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Right? Thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Right? Judah is that ruling tribe. Right? And all the tribes pretty much follow and emulate Judah, pretty much. Judah came up with the rap music and things like that, and all the tribes do. They got their own form of rap music. Right? Judah came up with the jazz, and all the tribes got let's say just about all the tribes got their own spin on it. I know like the Northern Kingdom, they have what they call I think, is it Brazil? I don't know. I know there's a Northern Kingdom. I can't remember the name of it, but is it Bolska or something like that? But they have their own forms of jazz and things like that. Right, real kind of chill sounding things. Right, thy hand shall be in the neck of the father's enemies, of thine enemies. Right, these Edomites, the father's children shall bow down before thee. Once again, these Edomites. Right, so yeah, these race riots. Right, Judah's a lion's whelp from the prey. My son thou art gone up. Stupid thou, he cast the lion as the old lion who shall rouse him up. Right, lion's whelp. right, from the prey that had gone up, right? So he's like a, you know, a lion's whelp. You know, he stooped down. He just, for a long time it's prophesied that they would be kind of docile and not really be knowing what the enemies are, you know, all into that plantation Christianity, things like that. And, who's aroused them up, man? The Most High, right? We haven't seen that yet. Judah fully been roused up, but yeah, I mean, we've seen parts of it with the Black Panthers and, all that stuff, but it's about to get, on a different level out here during Jacob's trouble, man. Behavior like this is just the start of it, man. Lord rouse his spirit up, and he said, man, you killed my son, I'm gonna kill, the second in command, pretty much. I think the sheriff's deputy is like the second guy in charge, right? Well, I don't. Let me see. Maybe not. I think they have a commissioner. Maybe it's a commissioner and like assistant commissioner. Maybe they have directors and assistant directors, and then maybe after that you have like a sheriff. I don't know. I don't know the police hierarchy. I know sheriff is really high. This is the book of Jeremiah 50:33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, or the Lord of armies, Yahweh, Lord of armies. It's just me, Yahweh, of armies. He is, of armies, right? He is, the one who always has been of armies. He's the, the owner, the controller of the. Well, he's the Most High. Pretty much, I'll explain it like that, right? So I don't go around, and he has legions and legions of angels, massive amounts of angels, right? The children of Israel and the children of Judah were pressed together onto the captive of the fast, refused to let them go. Right, that's the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom, right? And that's why things like this go down, man. Jake is tired of this shit, and Jake is, some of these Jakes, they get riled up, and they killing police, man. So don't be surprised if you see more things like this pop off, right? Even though the kid had a gun, I could already tell or feel that, without watching and looking at the internet and look at the comment sections, I could already tell that Jakes feel, that, hey, like, why'd you shoot this kid and kill him? Why couldn't you hit him in his leg or in his foot or his ankle or something, or him, anywhere to just immobilize him and get his gun, So, once again, this is another example, the Lord's judgment, and don't be surprised if more things like this pop off as move closer to Jacob's trouble. So, we got to be circumspect out here and just, continue to measure the times, right? Lord willing, you're edified. To the next one, I say shalom.